before we are able to remedy the situation. I congratulate the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for deeming it fit to organize this program. Thank you very much. Sorry, I would like to go through here.
Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, another very powerful paper delivered by the guest speaker, Honorable Justice Aloma Mukhtar. Without belaboring the point, and she has delivered that paper with her heart in it, she talked about our institutions who put women in harm's way. She talked about lecturers who ask young people for the things they should not be asking. She talked about many various areas of corruption, and she delivered it well from her heart and gave several examples. The women, nobody is going to give it to you. Go out there and take it, she says. In addition to all of that, how critical is it when somebody is looking for a job and the person demands for something that they should not? All of it corruption. I'd like to congratulate Honorable Justice Aloma Mukhtar for an incisive guest speaker's paper. Another round of applause for her, please. The lady I'm about to introduce to you is a woman of great pedigree, whose calmness, her total general being, declares calmness, kindness, pleasantness, and also shows that a person of such calmness easily is a partner to a man whom greatness has been thrust upon. Lawyer, philanthropist, author, and helpmate to our amiable Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. She is involved in several charities, namely the Women's Helping Hands Initiative and the Orderly Society Trust. Please help me welcome Her Excellency, Mrs. Oludolakpo Osinbajo, wife of the Vice President.
Her Excellency, the wife of the President, Hajia Aisha Buhari, members of the National Assembly, honorable ministers here present, Acting Chairman of EFCC, Mr. Ibrahim Magu, the wives of the governors here present, wives of the service chiefs here present, women groups, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our young boys and girls. I salute all the women here today, our mothers, our teachers, our friends, our sisters. We indeed have heard great words of wisdom here already. Today is a day I will not forget in a hurry. How often do we find ourselves with great and revered mothers like Professor Grace Alile Williams, Honorable Justice Miriam Mukhtar, and many other mothers? How often do we find ourselves in their presence on the one hand, and our future, our children, our tomorrow, on the other hand. I look up at the mothers, hoping I have learned all my lessons well. I look down at the children, and I wonder, have I passed down what was handed over to me? The grace we see in them, the poise, the courage, the dedication, the hard work, the faithfulness, the integrity, the professionalism, and such like. Age-old Nigerian values passed down to us by our mothers for the sake of our children, for our tomorrow. Surely today is an unusual day. It's a moment in history. It's a pivotal moment, a time, a place, a turning point in our lives and in our nation. A day, today, where women in Nigeria formally enlist in an army, enlist as soldiers in a fight, equipped by the words of our elders to go to war. This moment in history, when Nigerian women declare their intention to fight against corruption. I thank Her Excellency and the Chairman of the EFCC for this great invitation for all of us. I'll borrow a line from the speech of our host, the Acting Chairman of EFCC, when he said the struggle to free Nigerian women from the shackles of corruption. Many may think this has nothing to do with you. And because we're women, we're mothers, I'll tell a story. And it's a true story. It's a story of a woman. It's a story of my friend, a friend whose home was a safe haven whenever I wanted to run away from Lagos for a few days. My friend owned a poultry. She lived in a large compound. She had eggs and chickens, and she made good sales. I can testify I was one of the beneficiaries. But she had a cleaner who was supposed to come into the poultry every morning to clean the poultry. And she didn't know that every day the cleaner would put 2 crates of eggs into the sack and then sweep the leaves and put on top of the sack. So the cleaner made off with a crate or 2 every day. Those who were meant to clean the chickens and cut them up, they would say to her, the chickens have died. But she never saw any dead chickens because they would stand by the fence and throw the chickens over the fence to their waiting family members. She had a driver and a manager who were best of friends. She wasn't sure the manager gave her all the money for the eggs he sold, nor for the chickens. It became hard for her to pay salaries. Eventually, she shut down her poultry. She thanked God she didn't borrow any money, but she lost a lot of money. Perhaps, and I ask a few questions, because that's what mothers do when they tell stories. Then they ask a few questions. Do you think that my friend may have opened many more poultries if there was no corruption? Do you think perhaps now she might have a poultry in every local government in her state? Do you think of the many people who want jobs today? Do you think perhaps if there was no corruption, she may have employed some more of them? Do you think with issues with the GDP, her poultry business would have added her own quota to the GDP of Nigeria? Do you think if her poultry continued to make money, she may have paid school fees for some people who couldn't afford it? Do you think if her poultry didn't fail, she may have added her own quota to getting involved to the IDPs all over our nation? I know that women are change agents. And I know, even as Professor Grace Alele Williams told us, if we can work hard, play hard, and keep straight, there will be no more corruption. I'd like you to just look at the woman beside you and know that she's a change agent. Ask her if she's ready to put on her soldier's uniform for this war against corruption. because I know a lady who is like a soldier who's going to speak very soon. And I know when she flags it off, we have to be ready, set, go. There's a banner in front of where we're sitting, and I can see some words in Yoruba, which is my language, and I can see words in other dialects. And it says, Obìnrin rere, ló ń gbé orílẹ̀-èdè ga. It means good women lift up a nation. There's a good woman beside you, celebrate her. Thank you.
The very presence of His Excellency, the Vice President's wife, exudes complete calmness, even in her manner of speech and her general ambience. She has demonstrated again that she is a daughter of the earth and the granddaughter of our elder statesman, Chief Obafemi Awolowo. We want to thank Her Excellency, Mrs. Oshibajo, for such an insightful presentation and going to the roots, to use the Yoruba adage to tell us exactly the importance of women in the society. We thank you. It's time, Your Excellency, as we wind down this event, to invite a group of people to give cheer and to give words through the creative arts to the event for which you have come to flag off. We are inviting, therefore, a group of young men and women in a dance drama to take home the point. As you know, Your Excellency, there is nothing as beautiful as music, as culture, as food, as dance within Nigeria to take home an important point. We're creative people, we're cultural people. Here is a dance drama which looks at women against corruption. You will all agree with me that to be a Nigerian is one of the most exciting things in the world. Our dances, our food, our clothes, the very beauty of the nature of our country confers authority on this country to be great if all of us who are citizens join hands with Mr. President to raise Nigeria higher. A beautiful combination of a unity dance of Nigeria and all the various ethnic regions with a beautiful dance put together in choreography. Another round of applause for them, please. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the high point of this event, which is the flag-off of Women Against Corruption project of the EFCC in collaboration with Her Excellency, the wife of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Hajia Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, who has joined the EFCC in the work that her husband and our leader has placed in the forefront of his government's agenda, the fight against corruption that diminishes a nation, diminishes a country, diminishes a family, and diminishes a people. It's time to work against that cankerworm that has been destroying lives across the world. It is my singular honor to invite to the podium to deliver her speech Her Excellency, wife of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Hajia Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, the wife of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mrs. Dolapo Osinbajo, the wives of the governors, the Minister of FCT or his representative, all other ministers that are here, Acting Chairman of the EFCC, the National Council for Women's Society, the representative of the Speaker and the Senate President, the senators that are here, and the members of House of Representatives that are here today, the heads of government, parastatals, and agencies, especially Oga Osita, the Voice of Nigeria, DG. I think the Voice of Nigeria is the right place for you to be. The wives of the service chiefs and that of IG and Immigration, the guest speaker, the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Mrs. Maria Maloma Mokhtar, Professor Grace Alele Williams, former Chairman or Chair Lady and Secretaries of EFCC, women in uniform, other invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be part of this historic making event. This is a clarion call for us women to team up and wage a determined and sustainable war against corruption, which hinders a development in our dear country. As you are all aware, corruption has eaten deep into every fabric of this nation. It has crippled the development of our country, which has resulted in the deplorable stage of our vital infrastructure. We are feeling the insultant effects of corruption in our erratic electricity supply, poor health care services, falling standard of education, a dilapidated infrastructures, unemployment, and economic recession in the country. Economic recession the country is facing today. Corruption fuels serious crimes such as terrorism, kidnapping, child trafficking, drug trafficking, gun running, and a number of other crimes that directly and severely impact women of all ages and backgrounds. My dear Nigerian women, the individuals and groups most affected by these corrupt acts are us, the women. The struggles the women face daily, either in education, justice, healthcare, or employment, are indeed enormous. There is, therefore, no one single group better positioned to understand the issue of corruption, and at the same time, there's no other group with more influential tentacles as professionals, mothers, wives, and sisters, to both perpetrators and victims, and through whom the scourge can be most effectively tackled than women. In addition, women are known to be great mobilizers. It is therefore imperative that while deploying one-size-fits-all anti-corruption messages for the general society, we should specifically target women as a special group to own and drive the preventive tactics of our entire anti-corruption strategy. What is being proposed through this EFCC Women Against Corruption project work is to go beyond holding workshops and rallies to directly engage and empower women and harness their immense, but largely untapped potentials for a sustained and effective fight against corruption. A women anti-corruption network should emerge from the engagements between the Commission and the women groups across the country. The network, deriving from local women's community groups, will act as a potent force in mobilizing against corruption and holding public officials at all levels accountable to the people. At the organizational level, the network will expand to include women groups in all sectors to ensure the message gets to be politically exposed elite, which is disproportionately made up of men. Who are the prime targets of anti-corruption agencies? Here is written, starting with the wives of the governors. Let me start with the wife of the president, the wife of the vice president, the wives of the governors, and all other women leaders at all levels of government are going to be part of the project. They are hereby urged to launch the initiative at suitable dates in their various states. My dear fellow Nigerian women, to totally erase the effect of corruption on us and our children, we must raise up to our roles as responsible mothers and nation builders. It is time for us to go back and be the builders that we are meant to be. Every woman is the pillar of her home as well as in the society. We should not start and fold our hands while our homes and lives are being destroyed by this cankerworm called corruption. I want to urge us to use the natural instincts that God gave us in the care and nurture of our children to care and nurture this country and bring her out of her depression. The Change Begins With Me campaign was launched in July 2016. We must start with us, women. The power to change the destiny of our nation for the future of our children lies in our hands. At this point, I would like to commend the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for initiating this laudable program to actively engage us in the war against corruption. I hereby call on all women to support and own the anti-corruption war. In conclusion, let me remind ourselves that the home is our first institution, and we cannot be good citizens in the larger society without embracing integrity, virtue, and accountability as our ways of life. It is my honor to officially flag off the EFCC Women Against Corruption project. I hope this will scale down to the lowest level of our society. In addition, as you are all aware, before the swearing in, we have passed through the campaign season in which me and my sister, the wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Dolapo Oshibajo, who is known as a pastor, and myself as a Sunni Malama, we have never ever collected a single penny from our supporters or from donors in the name of campaign. We rather asked them at that time to go and print a logo of APC on top of items and bring them in large quantity instead of buying one less than what 100,000 naira or 200,000 naira or 100,000 naira to be given to us to use personally. That's the beginning of the fight of corruption. I know the type of husband that I have, and I stood firm to maintain the integrity and the name of the family going. And up till today, I don't receive gifts. Right from the day we won the election, people have been trooping in with gifts. I've never collected a gift. And up till today, I'm not ready to do that. In the end, long live Nigeria, long live Nigeria women, long live Nigeria, long live EFCC. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Okay.
I'd like to bring your indulgence to invite the Vice President to join you and the acting chair of the EFCC to join you in unveiling the banner. Please. Thank you. This is the Women Against Corruption banner. Her Excellency, the wife of the President of the Federal Republic, has flagged off this event, and in doing so, the banner is a symbolic instrument of flagging it off, and she would unveil it along with Her Excellency, the wife of the Vice President, and the acting chair of the EFCC. Your Excellency. Slowly, 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 the banner is being unveiled. A round of applause. Her Excellency has officially flagged off the Nigerian Women Against Corruption project, which is in association with the EFCC and in collaboration with the First Lady. I would like at this point to invite the wives of the governors to join her. She has requested that they come up to the podium to join her, to stand beside the banner to show that this anti-corruption war is going to be carried by the wives of the governors to their states, to the local governments, and across Nigeria. The wives of the governors here present are going to go up there and assist Her Excellency, the wife of the President, to do the needy. While this opportunity is going on, may I then invite the wives of service chiefs here present, representative of the wife of the Senate President, the former EFCC Chair, Mrs. Farida Waziri, the President of the National Council of Women's Society, to please join this photo opportunity. We'll also like to invite respectfully the guest speaker, Honorable Justice Aloma Mukhtar, to join the photograph as well. I'd like to ask Andy to give the CJN. Okay, she's on her way. Professor Alele Williams. A woman who builds the home can tame the corruption monster. This is the mantra that we are all going to be responsible for carrying forward in the project Women Against Corruption. Your Excellency, Professor Alele Williams is making her way up. I'd like to crave your indulgence to just be patient as she makes her way to the podium. Thank you very much, ladies. The wife of the Defense Minister to please step up. Wife of the Chief of Defense Staff. Acting Chair EFCC, we can't see you. This is your banner. And I'd like to invite the wife of Mr. Magu to join, because she's the one going to be carrying the flag from her house for the women. Wife of the EFCC Chair, please. The wife of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. The wife of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Let's hear a round of applause for Mrs. Magu as she makes her way to take the photograph. Thank you.
Corruption, they say, knows no gender. Women and children are usually the worst hit when the deadly fangs of corruption stings. All the sectors of the economy are affected, and the rest are better imagined. Now, with the Nigerian women at the forefront of the fight against corruption, it is no longer going to be business as usual, as the hands with which the cradles are rocked. And this is how we drop the curtains on the flag of Nigerian Women Against Corruption by the wife of the President, Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, today being the 7th of December 2016. Venue has been the International Conference Center, Abuja. On behalf of the Outside Broadcast crew, I am KG Busari Ahmed saying do have a wonderful day as we return you to our studios for normal program schedule. A very good afternoon.